stream. Okay. Are you doing the ping in Discord?
No, I'm trying to authenticate into my Twitch right now.
Okay, well.
65173.
I don't know if we're actually properly streaming yet.
I'm looking, okay?
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
Okay, let me just unmute.
Well, it says we're live. Okay, so I think we're live.
Test talking.
I'm talking. Can you hear me?
I guess I'll come in when it's done updating.
No idea.
What do you mean, no idea?
No idea. My computer's so quiet I can't hear shit.
Wow.
Okay.
But nobody's speaking. That's what makes me think that no one's here with us.
13 people have just popped in. News and announcement. That goes in announcements or Daily Bark?
Either or, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're kind of quiet. We are on backup mic today. Let me see if I can.
We're in backup location today.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
My bad.
Join us for the podcast starting now.
Louder now. Still good? We had an impromptu, crazy run to Vegas. Drove all night to get here so that we can go on a writing retreat weekend with Kex and so much other fun stuff. But that does mean that we're not in our setup in the closet with our lovely, super expensive mic and all of that and all of our audio equipment. We're on the backup mic, but I'll do my best to keep it good for everybody. All right?
Okay, should we make sure they can hear me and make sure they can hear Kex? Yeah, probably.
FanFest.
Oh my god, is that why it's sold out here?
Is that why everything was sold out? That would make sense. Okay, and Locke says she can hear you.
Okay, Kex, your turn.
I go up.
Okay. We'll have you move closer if you need to. We have special guest Kex with us today.
Hello.
There, see? You can hear her now. Since, we're all here. For anyone who doesn't know, Kex is a badass editor, so when we were like, we should do this in August, she's like, I'm in Vegas right now. You want to just come and we'll do a writing retreat? And I was like, yes, that's happening. Okay. So we're chilling with our editor / bestie in Vegas. So
We had delicious banh mi's for breakfast.
we had banh mi for breakfast. We came for the food. Alrighty. Oh, god dang it, Craig. Every time.
Kex, you have a new nickname.
Whew. All right.
Well, I guess I know what I'm going to be in Gen Chat.
Yep. Do you want me to just go change you real quick?
Go for it.
I think I have the ability.
Possibly. All right. Let us kick off our Tokotas podcast, July 29th, 2023. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different stuff today. A fair bit of rule changes, upgrades that are coming through. We're going to have a minor recap on healing as well. And the raffle's coming early today. Oh, also, it's like 120 degrees. You're going to hear the air conditioning. I'm so sorry. You will have to just get over it. All right.
Wow, that was just so mean.
I'm sorry. It's 120 degrees. They're just going to have to get over the sound of that air conditioning. I'm not turning it off.
I can't believe there's a convention going on this weekend. Why didn't we check that?
We didn't check anything. We bought a hotel.
It's true.
All right. So let's get rolling. First thing on the agenda, I'm going to touch on our charity USD fundraiser sale, which was extremely successful. So this year we raised $5,540 for cancer research. That donation has been made in the name of Tokotas. We gave them a nice little message like, thanks for the work that you do, and we hope this money helps. I'm already beginning the hunt for next year. We always try and pick causes that are near and dear to the people in our game, which is leading me to a big shout out to anyone who shared their stories about how cancer affected your life or people in your life. They were very hard to tell because they're all emotional. You care about all of the people you're talking about, and some are happy endings, some are not happy endings. So we really appreciate anyone who came out, told us their story, and it really helped get people, to understand what we were actually trying to do for this one, because it's not in our normal I don't want to call them on trend because that's not fair. All of our causes are important.
Our sphere. I guess it's not one we talk about a lot.
Yeah, it's not one we talk about a lot. But I appreciate everyone who came through and dropped a story and told us about it. It was very kind of you, and it had a big effect. So as part of that, seeing as we did so well, I opened Toko's wallet. I think I opened the wallet. We paid Gecko cash for this one, didn't we? Okay, I paid Gecko some cash, and we got a new ribbons background. This one is free. Anyone can use it. Tokotas are stepping on the ribbons. I think it's cute. It's all good. But here you go, our lovely ribbon trees that you can see on the screen. I super love this one already. And to close off talking about the charity sale, it has been decided that next year, for the 10th anniversary, we are going to do a Kickstarter to basically handle and finance doing pins for Tokotas. People have been asking them for like the 5-6 years we've been doing merch. Back when we started, there was no way for us to do like less than 500 orders. But we have found ways to do it. Thank you to Fantasy for reaching out and telling us how she was doing small order pins. That was a big help. I've talked to one of my very good friends, Lou Agresta, who runs crazy successful Kickstarters, and asked him for his advice, and he's graciously agreed to look at our Kickstarter and make sure we don't do anything stupid that will not work out. But we're going to do a 10th anniversary pin Kickstarter earlier in the year. So don't have an exact date yet. Probably going to be somewhere in the February.
The Q1.
The Q1 February, March, where we're going to kick off the Kickstarter. And then at that point, our goal is to know exactly what we're doing before we begin. And then from there, we will, And then from there, we'll just be doing production when it ends and handling production and fulfillment. And that means I'm beginning my search. Oh my gosh, phone, family. All right. Sorry, I'm not the only person in my family. I have a nephew and niece that are off in DC with their aunt. My parents are at training day stuff for the Cardinals. My little sister's on a booze cruise in San Diego. Like, it is just...
A weekend.
Everybody is doing something except for my husband and son, and I bought them tickets to go see a dinosaur show so that they wouldn't be left out like 10 minutes before this started. So it's a crazy weekend. Let me turn that off. So we will be doing this. We're trying to set ourselves up for success. We're not expecting big risk. We're expecting to be able to do exactly what we want. And that means I am now, at this point in time, beginning the search for artists and for exactly what we are going to be doing pins of. The only thing I know for certain right now is we are going to get a 10th anniversary pin, kind of like how we had our 5th anniversary patches. We're going to be doing something in that domain, colorful Tokotas emblazoned with the 10th anniversary. I still have 5th anniversary patches, so you'll totally be able to do those as an add-on if you want them. And we're going to sort out shipping. We have learned that apparently the cheapest shipping in the world comes from Germany. So with that knowledge, we're going to try and leverage this so that all of our EU people can get reasonable shipping. So like we've learned, and I think we're at the point that we can do this. We're only doing as a Kickstarter as basically pre-ordering and having a setup system that can handle the pre-ordering process for us rather than us trying to do it manually. So that's the only reason we're doing Kickstarter. We have the money to do this. We can definitely pull it off. And over the next couple weeks and months, you're going to see me start being like, so do we want deities? Do we want faction symbols? Do we just NPCs? Do we want to just do like our normal stuff? Oh, okay.
Hey, Seer.
Hey, Seer. Word. Go forth. Love it. Always helpful. If you want to start helping that brainstorming process, so everyone will be involved. You'll kind of know what's coming before our Kickstarter kicks. And then we'll do it like all the other pin ones where we'll have this core set that we are doing. And if we raise tons of money, then we'll unlock more so that we can give more and more pins away. You know, that's kind of like the hope and the goal. And we will have a little bit of backlog after it. Or not backlog, back inventory after it to put up in the merch store. But don't count on it. This is kind of like a one run and done sort of plan right now. All right, so 10th anniversary, Super excited about it. And from there, we move on to some housekeeping.
As the AC kicks on.
Yeah. Some housekeeping is fun. Ha! Sorry. That's just one run and done.
I thought about it.
Oh my god,
but I didn't say it.
Whew.
I have a backlog of good nicknames from Gen Chat to use. I'm gonna have to remember to cycle through.
All right. So we're going to move on to some housekeeping. Some of this is fun. Some of this is not fun. So I'm going to get the not fun piece out of the way because a lot of questions are coming up about it. Obviously, okay, Tokotas does not talk about people's bans or suspensions like ever. We don't talk about why anyone got anything. There's a few exceptions where if like other ARPGs reach out and there was USD scamming involved, we may give them a heads up. Like that's like our one exception, but otherwise we don't talk about it. However, today we're going to talk about bans and suspensions in the form of talking about them, not people who have them. Because this has been coming up and it's confusing everybody, and we have had a verbiage change about it that was meant to unconfuse you. So I'm going to explain it real quick. We'll go over a few FAQs about it, and then we'll move on to more fun housekeeping. I should have asked questions about pins and charity sales, shouldn't I have?
Do a pause after housekeeping.
I'll do a pause after housekeeping and handle both. So in Tokotas, there are two separate things. There are bans and there are suspensions. When you are banned, that means you're gone. You're never coming back. You have done a USD scam, something of that nature. Either your infraction was so bad and involved real stealing of money and things from people that we don't trust you to come back again, or it's been years of building infractions of a similar nature over and over again, and you haven't gotten the message, and you're on like your 10th, and I'm not exaggerating that number, suspension. At that point, we're like, okay, you're out. You're not going to get it, and you're done. We can't keep doing this. So that's a ban. A ban means someone is not coming back. They have been banned from the game. A suspension is a temporary suspension.
It used to be a temp ban.
We used to call them temp bans, but they got confusing, so we started calling them suspensions. And a suspension basically means you'll be back.
You're in timeout till X date.
You're in timeout to X date, and they could be a week, they can be a year, they can be from a specific department, they can be from, you're just not allowed to put up sales journals for the next 3 months because you keep doing the same thing, and we've told you not to do it. And suspensions, usually there is a whole warning system that comes before it, but getting timeout, getting other suspensions previously for minor things, those are your warnings. And then we'll throw down bigger suspensions when there's bigger problems. We try and attribute the length of time and your suspension directly to what was done. So if someone is suspended, they're coming back. And they're welcome back. It's up to them if they come back. But they're welcome to come back at the end of their thing. They've been timed out, basically, is how it works. And then this has been coming up a bunch lately, so we wanted to throw a few. Wow. I don't know if you guys can hear that car alarm. I don't know. Okay. This has come up a bit, so we just want to do a couple FAQs. When someone is banned or suspended, you cannot take stuff back from them if they paid for it. Because they paid for it. If you want to take slots back from them, you owe them a refund. Because even though they can't use them, they paid you for them. So you cannot keep the payment and the thing. Okay? So regardless of ban or suspension, you cannot take genos and slots back from somebody if they paid for them. You would owe them a refund. At that point, you kind of ran a scam. So just to clarify that. Things like split slots that aren't going to be used anytime in the realistic future because of things like a suspension that payment wasn't handed for, we'll handle them on a case-by-case basis.
Note us.
Yeah, note us. We'll take a look and we'll sort it out from there. Someone who's been suspended isn't like, you're not allowed to talk to us. They note us all the time. When we were dealing with the whole, like, removal of co-owning, some people who had suspensions came around and was like, hey, I see that you're dealing with it right now. Can I just give you, like, my layout of co-owning, please? So that we can handle it in the bulk of it and not when I get back. And our response was, yes. So we did all of their handling of co-owning. And, like, as soon as you're back, this is your stuff. It's right here. You have it. And they were like, thanks. Awesome. So, like, you know, We work with people who are on a suspension to sort things out. We sometimes work with people who are on a ban to sort things out. It just kind of depends on what's going on. The goal is not to screw anyone over. So we deal with it in case-by-case basis to explain that. Moving on from that, harassment in our game in the context of Tokos is not okay, period. If we find out that you are harassing someone for reporting a rule break that you did, or just saying like you were gossiping with your friends and then that person starts harassing you, and it's in the context of Tokos. It needs to be in the context of Tokos. We're not involved in your friend fights. You two having a fight about some conversation you had down at a restaurant has nothing to do with Tokos. Don't bring it to us.
But pressuring you to be like, oh, I really want that Toko, sell it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, it's unfair that you have this thing. Like, that's not okay.
That's not okay. That's the harassment you bring to us. So if there's harassment happening, tell us. It's in our rule book. We take it very seriously. We try to create a place where you don't feel like crap every time you show up, right? And this includes admins too. I will put the clarification out there. An admin telling you no is not harassment. An admin telling you no thanks is not harassment. You saying something kind of shitty to an admin and they go F you is not harassment. However,
admins, you are held to a higher standard, and you know it.
Mm-hmm. Admins are held to a higher standard of the rules. Like,
At least say heck you instead.
Yeah, try and say heck you instead. I'm kidding. Admins are held to a higher standard of the rules.
Oh, yes, as what?
As Lua in chat.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that is true. An admin telling you to note the group rather than DM them is also not harassment.
But being in our DMs all day about stuff is harassment.
It is kind of... We do have a rule in the group not to DM admins, and it's for just open clarity and communication. If you're talking to, and I'm picking randomly, if you go and you hit up Sheba about an issue you're having with breedings, and Sheba has a whole conversation with you, well, Sheba's the only one with that context now. But if you bring it to the notes in the group, everyone has access to it, and with a very few exceptions, there's no real anonymous noting that happens in Tokos. Even the ones that go to IPAC, where if you're like, this admin, I saw them basically scam someone out of X, Y, and Z, and I need to tell people, you note IPAC. You note IPAC. There's only 3 of us that have access to it, so it's about as anonymous as it gets. And we don't name drop unless there's an actual reason. If you hit us up and say, hey, this person won't refund me, we have to tell them who they need to refund. We have to facilitate fixing the problem. But if there's no need to drop your name, we won't. So just kind of we don't name drop. We keep it as anonymous as we need to keep it. We try and facilitate open and honest communication before we get involved. We don't usually go to suspensions first. If we did, the problem is much bigger than any of you knew. Yeah.
No one is above the rules.
No one.
Especially not admins.
Especially not.
So you don't not report something because somebody is an admin.
Right.
If you're worried about it being public to the entire admin team, you send it to IPAC, and the dads only have access to that.
Exactly. And then plenty of the times we get reports all the time, everybody. We are always getting reports about this, that, or next thing. You never see the hand slaps because you don't need to see the hand slaps when there's no suspension or ban involved, where we just hit someone up and go, hey, that's against the rules. Don't do it again. And admins get that as well. It's just you don't see it for players the same way you don't see it for admins. If the infraction is bad enough, we'll fire you. I have done it before. I will do it again. Simple as that. If you break the rules, you'll get fired. Sometimes being fired is what we'll do instead of a punish. It is your punishment. You got fired rather than you got timed out for a week. Things of that nature. We deal with it as case-by-case basis, but we just wanted to kind of give a clarification here and just be it's not cool for admins to harass people. It's not cool for admins to break the rules. If you know about it, you can tell us. We will try and do something about it to the best of our ability. Obviously, we do need some sort of proof, the same way we would need proof that a player did something.
And if we do have to use your like in a refund situation and they begin harassing you, tell us. It's not okay.
That escalated the situation. They're actually in more trouble now. Okay?
And that goes for players who you report and then they retaliate.
Yes.
Same thing.
And if their friends show up to retaliate instead of them, well, then they and their friends are in trouble now. Simple as that. Like, and if you block them and then they come at you with alt accounts, all they're doing is trying to get themselves banned from the game. As simple as that. Come and tell us about it. Reiterating, every disagreement is not harassment. If I've got to deal with somebody and I don't like the terms of the deal and I go, no, I don't like this deal and please don't use my offer to try and up this, and then you don't like the way I spoke to you, that's still not harassment. We're having a disagreement. If you're unsure, note us. If you're unsure and you note us and we come back and we go, okay, I see how you guys had a disagreement. I don't know if it's really,
We can mediate this.
if we can mediate it, we'll try and mediate it for you. But for the most part, when you have an issue with someone, we're going to tell you to stay away from them. And if there's something worth us getting involved, we'll get involved. So just kind of want to clarify that. Clarify, you should report harassment. Every disagreement with people doesn't necessarily mean it's harassment. If admins are doing it, Jill will be super angry about it, and you should tell us.
Not at you. Not angry at you.
Oh, yeah, not angry at you. I'm going to be angry at the admin. I hired them and I gave them an extra level of trust. I'm going to be so angry if they've broken that trust. And then if you're really unsure, just note us. We'll only take action if we need to.
You're never going to get in trouble for reporting something. Well, clarification.
I'm going to clarify that. You should not get in trouble for reporting something. If you're a drama llama, we're going to tell you you're being a drama llama, though.
Okay. We do have a question related to this.
Okay, go for it.
I know you're going to do questions at the end, but it seems very relevant to
No,
what
no,
we're talking about now.
I want to do this because I would like to get this part out of the way.
Oh, fuck. They can barely hear me.
Okay, well,
Speaking up and projecting. Is there a user-side way to see our warning history, like something on our companion site profiles that only we and admins can see? We don't track anything like that on Tokotna, but for Discord, that is one of the reasons we moved to the Dino bot, because you can see your history. However, since moving to the bot, we've just not had issues in chat, really.
yeah, you've all behaved since we moved to the bot. Since we clarified the rules, you've all super, risen to the occasion and behaved, and we've really only had to do, maybe one timeout.
Yeah, so the bot will let you see this stuff on Discord, but there actually isn't anything for anybody to really see right now.
You shouldn't be surprised by warnings from us. You would have received something. It says it's extreme circumstances that we go straight to a suspension. Scamming, art theft, and just the amount of transgressions would need to be intense for us to do something about it, without having proper or more of a chain of warnings. If you're confused, if you have one, you can note us.
And we'll let you know, but...
We'll talk to you about your stuff, but we won't talk to you about someone else's.
Yeah.
Okay? Cool. All right, well, now that terribleness is over, I hate this PSA, but we need to have it, right? So, now that terrible is over, let's talk about Art Fight. And you're like, oh no, what is she about to say about Art Fight? Good job, everybody. We got one report of imports on Art Fight. One. Compared to the 200, which is a bit of an exaggeration, but not much, from last year. So I think those page dolls we've put in place seem to have done the trick. We'll try and keep those updated with new mains and new builds as we go. Thank you to Fleet for getting those done. They did the trick. It seems everybody just colored those up because they were nice little high quality pieces. Didn't put our imports up, and we super appreciate that. It was a lot less stressful this year when Art Fight came around. So good job, everyone. And then is it Triptych? I'm going to say Triptych. Is that how I say it?
I think think so.
Okay. Triptych images are allowed in Rights. Rights wants you to remember you of that. What was the slogan they gave me? Save 20 seconds for chopping the images on weeks of procrastination. We do all the rights. I don't know.
I think you scrambled that.
I scrambled it. Okay. Basically, save time not having to crop. Just put it together.
Yeah. It's been actually really fun seeing them come through the threads.
It has. It has.
I didn't think they were going to get as much use, but here we are, I guess.
They get more use than photo manips.
Ooh.
Goodness.
Forever salty. Okay. So that's that. And then finally, let's do last bit of housekeeping before we go on to fun things. Anthology status. As of right now, 3, 4?
There's what, 7 total?
Yeah.
So 5 of 7 have had their first
Editing.
editing pass.
All right, so 5 out of the 7 stories have their first editing pass. All stories, Dunn and I were writing ours a little later than everyone else's because we had to figure out what was missing. Shocking.
The answer was TV.
We had to write a TV story. So ours got finished. Ours is through its first draft process. 4 other stories are through the draft process. We've got 2 left. Just if you're one of the people who's got 1 left, that doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just meant you were further down the list in the order in which we were doing things, because our editor is working on at least 1 other major project, and we're gonna hit him with a bigger project by the end of the year too. So yeah.
Oh, what are you talking about? We're hitting them with a bigger project by the end of this weekend.
I don't think the beta readers will be done with it, or we'll finish to read aloud by the end of this weekend.
Oh yeah, okay, touche.
Yeah, the editor's like step 3 after the final draft. Maybe step 4. So, yes, so that's where the anthology's at right now. As of this moment, Daph said that she's gonna give us some concepts about the cover art. There was some confusion on that last time, apologies. The cover art, she's looking into doing some things. Good chance she'll be doing the cover art for us. Cray will be doing the cover layout with her commercial art skills, which are significantly above the rest of ours. And then I'll be doing the internal layout because I have the program that can do it. So we're still working on those. When I have concepts to actually show you, I will spoil them. What? As soon as I know, I will do like little spoilers, and then we'll do a big cover reveal day or something. People make big deals of that crap, I've heard.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. All right, so that's anthology status. So, questions about anything in housekeeping? Don't ask me what someone was banned for. That is not the point. But the question...
10th anniversary.
10th anniversary. And you can ask about the charity sale, but I don't know how much more I'd have to say on it. All right, questions about that to the Discord.
I am watching for questions.
Is anyone typing?
Not right now.
Yeah, that always creeps me out. I'm like, there's no way I did a good enough job explaining that. I all terrified you for some reason. You won't ask me a question.
We just talked about bans and suspensions. You terrified them. It's just like every admin training ever.
Whatever.
First Tokota training, you terrify them within 10 minutes.
Yes, I do. Don't
the
cheat.
point.
Don't cheat. I will fire you, okay? I take all that onus and I fire anyone who gets fired for more than, lack of quota.
Somebody's typing.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
I have read all the anthology stories. Y'all, it's so good.
I read them all too. Imagine that.
Shocking.
I too did.
Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know if I could pick a favorite. I mean, obviously I'm fond of our story. I feel like it came out pretty well in the end, but
I like all of them, but the one that surprised me with how much I liked it was is it the LK story? Is it spoiling if we say what NPCs are in it?
no.
The one with Nikolai. I was like,
Oh,
this, like,
yeah.
oh my god,
that-
in the heart.
That one was so good. I love that one. That's definitely in, I think, my top 3 for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have the things.
Okay, we have a question.
Have the UTGNOs for TT only buyers been raffled? I'm curious who won.
It has slipped my mind entirely, and I will handle it by this Friday.
All right, I'm going to the admin server to put a reminder for us.
There is a spreadsheet with the stuff on it. I just totally blanked on it.
It's been a bit of a month at WorkWorks.
Yeah, it has. Okay, but thank you for that reminder, and I'm not going to promise this weekend, because when I get off of this, I'm probably not tokoing for the rest of my weekend. That's a lie. But I'm going to try and not toko for the rest of the
You're going
weekend.
to end up tokoing in the 4-hour drive home.
Yeah, I'll build some code for us in the 4-hour drive home.
That's how we got the taming cow.
It is how you got the taming calc, and a lot of other things that happened in a 4-hour drive.
The injury roller for me.
I could do the injury roller for
Oh my
you.
God, we could get all the requirements here while we've got
You
Kex,
could, because I'm
and then
right
you could just
here.
code it in the car.
I probably could.
I don't think it'll be that hard.
It won't be that hard. It's a getting started issue. As soon as I'm like 30 minutes in and I understand, I see the code in my head, which I hope other coders understand, and I'm not just the weirdo who sees lines of code in their head. As soon as I get there, I'm like, all right, momentum, this will be done.
Okay, I set a reminder in admin chat for Monday at noon to join your Monday deluge of pings.
Thank you for that. I totally need like a 5th ping.
I removed the late night one.
All right, so yes, we will get that done. Thank you for the reminder.
All right. No big deal if not. It's amazing that the anthology is a thing. I'm curious if there would be an audiobook later on.
If you want me to read it to you, I'll read it to you. I would have tons of fun doing that, and we have Jill and Dunn seem to have like a guy for everything, but we actually have a guy named Eric who is like this truly epic audio engineer that helped us do our podcasting setup, and he does editing for audiobooks for like seriously legit authors like Kevin J. Anderson and people like that.
I think his background is doing like rock band, like touring
Yep.
kind of stuff.
And then he found this like niche doing audiobooks for authors who are like reading them themselves. So yeah, if that's something that's wanted, I can work out the cost with Eric, and I don't think we'd hire a professional. You would be stuck with the glorious, what did he call the mid-tones of my voice. But I would be happy to do an audiobook for us if that's what we want.
We're already having to learn how to do it for our own stuff. Might as well toke with benefit.
Right? All right. Anything else?
Nope. I think we're good.
Okay. Cool. So remember, I told you the raffle was coming early. So the raffle is part of this little next section. Let's talk about August. Summer Hunt is back. Woo! Okay.
Switch slides.
No, I totally forgot to switch slides. But there we go. Okay, so Summer Hunt is back, and Summer Hunt brings us many new things. This year we have 2 new prey. That was a 3. 2 new prey. Giraffes and...
Mongoose. They're
and-
going to be tribe prey.
Giraffes and mongoose, which are going to be tribe prey, which means tribe hunting. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm very excited about it. Additionally, in our year-long glow-ups is correct, for our ROD companions, it is the month of Raven. So we have the new Raven there. If you're paying attention, you may notice that subtle background as well. And that's an Artemis Hunter, right?
Yep, that's our Chasing Legends Hunter for this go.
And we have a Chasing Legends Hunter. You can get a little spoiler of that. So Summer Hunt is coming with all of this. Right now, we are living in a spot where we're making a decision. Summer Hunt is going to retain what it was last year, where you went and you clicked on a button, you got pelts. Dunn informed me that apparently I programmed that last year. I was completely in belief that somebody else had done it. Who knows what the heck was going on when I wrote that code.
Probably 3 o'clock in the morning.
Probably on like August 1st. So
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So we're going to maintain that. There is a possibility of upgrading it a little bit if we think it would be fun. What we can do is we have all the regions out and we have the different prey, and there's a little like bucket of prey in each of them. We could upgrade this so that what you pull out of the bucket prey-wise will give you like points, like a hunting game like you see in 1,000 web comics and novels and such, where everyone goes out and hunts different things and you get point values for what you find. And we just have a little we can put like a leaderboard up of like who has the most points, but if you manage to get to a certain level of points, we can give out achievement trophies for it. So like a bronze, silver, and gold if you get tons of points. We could do that if people would be interested in that. It's not really meant to be competitive because the leaderboard is like informational only. You're not going to win anything for it.
But there were confusion when we tried that with Tokoween the first year.
Yeah, the first year we tried them on Tokoween, everyone got real confused and really worried, which was not what we wanted. So we took them down and we haven't done them again. This would be like a bragging rights leaderboard, and everyone's getting their bronze, silver, gold based on their own score and if it got high enough against a static metric, not against other people. So we are completely capable of doing that. If you could leave me some feedback and podcast feedback, if that would be something you would want or something you wouldn't want. Like, not getting the achievement does nothing, right? There's no extra prize. Your prize is all of the items you picked up along the way.
This is adding some of the competition flavor back into it, even though we're not ready to take the leap into competitions.
Yeah. We did this point last year when we were talking about a lot of this stuff, we said we needed to do like a major database overhaul and we need to do a bunch of stuff like that. We have been doing them. We're always doing them. Ree did a bunch. I did a bunch. So we're in a better place in the database to do a more competitive event. It purely was timing. My work life went crazy pants on me since March. And every time I think it's like settled down, they're like, oh no, now you have a new boss. Oh no, now your executive has moved. Oh no, now this has happened. Oh, BTW, we need you to move teams. I mean, they wanted me to, but I agreed to. So it's that wasn't really a forced thing, but it's chaos for the people who were working for me to move to another team. So it's just been like step-by-step chaos, which has slowed down my progress on a ton of things. But yeah, so if you leave it in podcast feedback how you feel about it, I would appreciate that. Which then brings us to the last thing you'll see on here, which is our new Summer Hunt Totem. We don't know what we're going to do with this totem. Yeah, I'm just saying it aloud. We don't know what we're going to do with it. We worked out the other ones, but there's not really a Summer Hunt specific openable or anything like that, so we don't really have a grand plan for it. So our raffle this time round is to give us suggestions for the Summer Hunt trophy. Now, if you really I have no idea. I don't have a suggestion for the Summer Hunt trophy, and you just want to give us a totem, and you just want to give us an idea for a totem in general, you can do that. So it's totem ideas, super nice if it could be Summer Hunt, but if you want to give us another one, that's fine. There is a caveat. I don't want to hear about any abandoned Tokota totems. Period. If you post one, I will not count you. I do not want to hear about any elemental heart, improved odds. This assume for all of the same high ticket items that is also. I don't want to hear about improved odds for getting elemental hearts, soul mirrors, blah, those sorts of things. And 3, no rare main bonus. Those 3 things are off the table. Do not give me ideas for totems on them. Everything else is on the table. And Dunn has started the raffle. You're going to have quite a while because totem ideas are much harder to come up with. So you're going to have basically until I hit, let me scroll down. We're going to go through that. When I say that we have reached the totem tracker preview, that'll be like your 15-minute warning. And I'll give you the warning then too. But we'll leave it open for a while on this one. Yeah, so,
Lots of boots.
oh yeah. Bootsy. And Stabby.
I like Stabby.
I'm kind of searching around right now because I think we're at the point where we need a new Twiggy variant. We have Leafy, who's cute, and Scully, who's kind of creepy. And now we're trying to be like, okay, well, where are we going to go next? And we've had Shelly come up before, and then Bootsy came up today, a robot made of old boots. I'm kind of down for that. And then the concept of having just a robot made of a bunch of knives, and calling it Stabby, that also came up. So I'm
Candy too.
Oh, and Candy from Candy Wrappers, yeah. So I'm kind of like, I'm in that vibe right now where I'm gonna pick another variant and probably get it sorted. We usually announce them at Summer Hunt time, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So if one of those HQ artists that usually do these has a thought or time, reach out.
Just grow our mech field for our inevitable mech versus kaiju event.
I mean, yeah, if we get through Chasing Legends and I have just as many robots as I do Chasing Legends, I don't see why we can't have a kaiju mech battle. Like, why not? Tokos is crazy.
There's Cray's contribution. Cray, if you make it.
Just imagining a Toko, like, sitting on Scully's head, like, lumbering across the field.
Field. Sometimes we're super serious. Like, thank you so much for all of your stories about how cancer affected your life so we could do this awesome things. And then sometimes we're like, Toko's writing Scully
Bone mechs.
to fight a kaiju. Why not?
Even though I've always pictured them as, like, this big.
I also pictured them super tiny as well.
Wow,
Like
am I the only
action
one?
figures.
Am I the only one who put them like Gundam size?
You have them Gundam size? I have them like action figure size.
Oh
Same.
no, I had them Gundam size in my head.
Maybe R2D2 size.
I mean, maybe like Code Geass mech size, something like that.
I don't know. Okay, so there's much discrepancy on how big these are too. Which is
Welcome to Tokos.
yeah, welcome to the fun of it all. So we are definitely looking at that. If anybody has any questions about stuff for the summer hunt, pray all of that, drop your questions now. Otherwise, we're going to move on to where I think the meat of a lot of this is going to be, which is the universal art/lit requirements that we've been talking about.
Don't forget to switch your
Soda.
screen. Do you need something to drink, or are you doing okay?
Can you hand me my...
Code Red.
Yeah. So, fun fact, I learned very recently that apparently I don't take caffeine as a stimulant. It's a crazy Scottish evolutionary thing. Everyone in my family is the same. Apparently it's like, what did he tell me it was? It's a vitamin or something?
It's like treated like a nutrient or something.
Yeah, it's a nutrient. Apparently I treat caffeine like a nutrient, but it's not, I'm like, that's such a crazy thing to learn. And it's everyone in the family. My mom slams like 6 cups of coffee a day and is fine. Nothing. My dad drinks a Coke and goes to bed and everything is fine. And I really did feel that for years, and I apologize for this to the Americans because it was complete misconception because apparently my biology. I thought y'all were really dramatic about caffeine. I just felt like maybe it was an American thing to be really dramatic about caffeine, where people are like, it's 4:00. I can't have a soda. I'll be up all night. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure, I guess, where I'm sitting here like coffee at 11:30 at night and passed out 30 minutes later.
Cray with her logic. They have items for scale. Leaves, twigs, bones, etc.
So yeah, random fun fact about Jill and apparently caffeine.
Whew.
Any questions come up?
Oh my god. Lily. Oh, you can read on your screen.
Oh, I see it on Lily now. Yeah, so Lily, I think it's actually a really Scottish thing. However our biology worked, which isn't crazy, we live in the extremely far north. We are the north that's in the fantasy worlds. When everyone talks about, oh, the north, yet y'all are the southerners to us Scottish people. Y'all are the southerners. We're super far north. It's a cold and harsh climate, survival of the fittest, and apparently this is one of those things. So most of my entire immediate family, we all have this. Caffeine does nothing to us. And then cousins and all of that, like we asked about it, and it's a lot of the same. So it's the majority of people in Scotland. So if like you have caffeine and then there's nothing, you probably have it as well. It's a biological mutation that's passed down in families. So yeah.
Or, you could just have completely fried your ability to, your tolerance is so sky high.
Nope, we have
I meant for me.
we are immune to caffeine and apparently have amazing livers. All right.
It's a good thing.
Right?
Or y'all might not have made it this long.
I'm pretty sure that's the only people who did make it this long.
True. That's why.
Focus.
All right, focus.
Okay, back to Tokos.
No questions? We all good? Huzzah. All right.
Oh, actually, wait, yeah, no, there was a question. Was I supposed to be reading your
I
questions?
I was filling time for people to type.
I thought you'd moved on.
No, what's the question?
In the future, can we have a mini, maybe weekly adventure for summer hunt? It could be a really cute adventure that is limited time only. Holiday adventures came up for this year's cycle of holidays, but it's just a matter of time and resources.
Yeah.
Jill's in a lot of things, Ree's in a lot of things, and those are the two primary adventure coders. So we had to
Yep.
focus on getting T2 bonding, T3 adventures, all that out.
Right? It's not a no. It's a not now. And as soon as we can get...
It's a want, but...
It's a want. It's just we don't have resources for it now. So, yeah, we're going to get to it when we can. All right. So, we good there? No other questions?
Somebody is typing.
Oh, okay. I'll let them type. I honestly, these random antidotes are me to fill time while people type.
Okay. Related. I know there was an adventure contest once upon a time. Has there been a consideration for an always open adventure content submission? I think we have to get through the backlog that came out of that.
Yeah, we already have a backlog of, like, there's still adventures that came from that we haven't finished yet. Maybe when we get through that backlog, we can look at doing some sort of content submission. If you have a fully fleshed out adventure, and I do mean fully fleshed out adventure, we don't need your concept for it. Like, oh, it would be really cool to have, like, a sandcastle building contest in Narnvok. Like, yeah, it would be. But if you have a fully fleshed out, here's the sandcastle contest, all of the pages, and here's some ideas for the art or some art, go ahead and send it to us.
Put it in notes.
Put it in notes. Go ahead and send it to us. We're not. The absolute worst we can say is, cool, but we may need to make these changes. Okay. Okay. And, you know, there's a possibility that somewhere down the line there will be some tribe-specific adventures. It's on the possibility list. It's happening. Just not now.
I swear to God, you.
So, that's where we stand on that. Onward. Yeah?
I think so. Yes.
Okay,
we're good.
cool. So, what we're all here for today is a couple weeks ago, we dropped faction rank, and
1 week ago.
1 week ago, we dropped faction rank, and we brought up the concept of transitioning Tokos into having universal art and lit requirements. So what does that mean? It means that every section of the game will have the same rules for quality and quantity. And quality I use very loosely because we don't qualitatively judge. But we are talking about doing that. And there's a couple benefits to that. One, simplicity. You know me, I am like the queen of standardization. If we standardize a bunch of things, like we standardize how main pass rates work, and we standardize how breed pass rates work, and we standardize how litter sizes work, we standardize what forms look like, it's easier on everybody across the board. So this is kind of like the next one we're going in. We're not sitting here saying we are absolutely going to do this. We are beginning the discussion about doing this, and we want feedback from everybody about it as well. So what this would entitle, and maybe we would beta it, maybe we wouldn't. It's such a grand change. I don't know if we can, like,
Rip it back out
if we put it in. So we really want to be sure that the group wants us to push through with this before we do it. Currently in the system, there's roughly 3 levels of art. There's the super quick art, like Tamings. Basically, Tamings has a lower word count. It used to have lower, like, art requirements. I think it's mostly standardized into activities these days. Like, activities kind of came that baseline. But technically, there's quick, fast art. Things that don't really require backgrounds. Things that don't really require this. Things that don't really require that.
Tokotas images are a good quick one.
Tokotas images, some breeding images, things of that nature, like, are low-level requirements, not low-level art, to be clear. Low-level requirements. Then there's kind of like the mid-tier, and activities sits in the core of that mid-tier. That's the one where you need to hit this to do most things in the game. And that's kind of our mid-tier. And then we have a higher tier, which is our rights. Our rights ask you to put a little more effort into this. They want a little more of that or the next thing. It's not like, oh, this has shadings. And remember, this is not art quality. This is art requirement, two entirely different things. We'll talk about art quality later if we feel like we need to. So we have these 3 levels. They're, oh, you're all going to know this word. They're kind of arbitrary. Like, each section back in the conception of Tokos kind of came up with their rules. They kind of set them out there, and they were like, yeah, taming should be fast, and yeah, activities should be this, and yeah, right should be more, but the difference between them is not much and
Well,
arbitrary.
kind of what happened is activities has the highest volume of art, and Islua and all the activities team has over the years honed the requirements there. So other departments have just been like, well, just go do activity level.
Yeah, that's true. Most of the time the event comes around, we're like, just go do an activity level. An activity level makes things easier. So we've already been kind of like pushing at that, but there are outlier departments. And when you come to writing, it's even more arbitrary. And we say this with so much experience behind us. Dunn spent a con and wrote 4,000 words, 5,000, 6,000 words over the span of a con. Our low to high level is maybe 400 words apart at most in requirement. That's not,
It's like 1,000, 1,200, 1,400.
and 200 words does not make or break anything. It doesn't, when you're writing in that quantity, if we were writing like 200 word stories, 200 words would matter more. But we're not. We're on average writing 1,200 words, so 200 in either direction means very little in the span of telling a proper story. So what we're kind of looking at doing is taking those three levels and kind of just doing one throughout the group. There can still be exceptions to things that we need in other places. So if something really needs to have this exception because of the nature of what it is, which is like the Tokotas images, we don't require a background on it. It's super special and an exception. Like we can still do that. But on a whole, 95% of the art in group would have that activity level art and requirements. And Dunn actually wrote up, she put it in the faction rank. So if you've gone to look at,
I'll go drop the thing in chat.
yeah. So if you've gone to go and look at the faction rank, that has our proposal for the universal art rules and the universal lit rules. And that way, no matter what you are doing in the system, you are making a CE, you are making an activity, you are doing rights, you are doing bonding, you are making a POTA image. It's the same rules. You only have to learn one set of them. And then my kind of like, well, people are like, but you know, these ones that require us to do these more. I'm like, well, we could still kind of have that where let's.
Like bonding has a judging rubric that is based on your effort.
Exactly.
It's one of the few places we do.
And CEs.
CEs and bonding both still have that effort scale, but that's like a bonus that you get. It's not part of the requirement for what
Just
you're
be
doing.
bold.
Exactly. So we can maintain that effort, and I air quote effort, that how much effort you put into this compared to other things. We can maintain that as like the bonus scale without switching it between like, well, 3 background elements for activities, but rights actually needs 5 background elements. No, it would be 3 background elements to hit the minimum. And if we see that you have 5, 6, 7, then we would just increase the effort bonus. Does that make sense? So that's kind of what we're looking at doing, where if there was some sort of effort scale that's not built into the system already, we could look at including it that way as a bonus for doing more. And again, we have to keep this quantitatively more rather than qualitatively more. Even today, we had an entire discussion about did this image, pass requirements. And there was 5 people in the conversation and 5 completely different opinions. Subjective judging is just not possible for us. It always comes back to having to have quantitative minimums. Quantitative, not qualitative. Quantitative being set facts and numbers.
75% visibility.
75% visibility.
3. Oh.
Yes, versus, well, it needs to mostly be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's the difference. The amount of art we're judging, what we're doing. Quantitative is just the reality, and we can do effort, but only in the form of like a bonus against yourself rather than the baseline for whatever everyone else is doing, if that makes sense. So we're kind of talking about that. That's what we are pitching. Dunn has dropped the faction rank because these would be the rules that we're putting out there for people. And something that we just did is Tokopedia got an upgrade. so that we can do sub-pages, which basically means those art rules are sitting off on a Tokopedia page. And then everyone who's working on Tokopedia can basically drop like a little bit of, I say it's a code, but it's not really. It's just like a placeholder that says, hey, I want the universal art rules here. And then when the page gets built, it finds them and pops them in there. So we would only be maintaining it in one place. So when we make an update, it appears everywhere. And that would be that would be a mechanical benefit. Would also mean we would have more stable rules and less chance of having the wrong thing and confusing people. So I believe that this change would drastically lower confusion for people. The trade-off, because there's always a trade-off, is technically like taming lit requirements and a few other, like, I think...
Reading images were actually 2 activity rules when I went to go.
Oh, okay.
They used to be less.
Okay, so a few things like taming images, or not taming lit, the word count would go up. But on the flip side, rights, which would be RODs and maybe AOAs, I can't remember, I need to go check. See, that's kind of the problem. You can hear it right now. RODs and POTAs, their word count would go down. And everyone's art would kind of flux a little bit. Most things are kind of already using activity rules, so the majority of your things wouldn't really change. A few things would move into that. So there'd be a little bit of give and a little bit of take. I don't actually think it's a super sweeping change. It's not like when we redid main numbers where it changed the game. I think this really is actually a lot smaller than that. There will be a feedback channel for it, if it's not already there. It's already there. There's already a feedback channel for it. You've heard our pitch. You've heard our ideas. You know,
You can see them.
You can see them. Be respectful, but go to that feedback channel. Tell us if you like it. Tell us if you don't like it. Tell us you like it, but you don't think this is a great idea because of X, Y, and Z. I will always engage. And me asking you a question is not me shutting you down. I don't know what you mean. I haven't followed your thread of logic. I don't know if you don't... And sometimes it'll be like, yeah, we thought about that, and this is why we're not doing it. This is me answering why we're not doing it. It's not me telling you to shut up. In feedback threads, I want conversations with people. I want us to be able to discuss this. This affects everybody in the game. So everybody should at least be allowed to have an opinion on it, and then we're going to do with whatever we believe is going to cause the greatest good for us.
And this is not going to go out with August Open.
No, this will not go out with August Open.
It'll be on things like faction rank or new things that are dropping.
Mm-hmm. But it will not go out. There'll be no, like, as of now, you must do this. No. That's not going to be in August. The earliest we could even conceive of putting this out and starting to put, like, grace periods in place would be September. And that's the earliest we could conceive of it. And that's only if this conversation goes in the form of everyone being like, yeah, I think this will work. Go for it. Which we don't know if that's what's going to happen yet. Okay.
Oh my gosh, what is this art?
You finding it? All right. So, questions on it. I will do my best to answer anything that clarifies about the rules. We did link you the rules that we wanted to use, which is the faction ones. Those faction rules aren't going to change. Even if we decide the answer is no, we're not going to consolidate everything down into one set of rules. Those faction ones are going to remain as they are. So those are stable. Just go take a look at them.
Good opportunity to put them there for you guys to see.
Exactly. We wanted faction rank to go out anyway, which we're all excited faction ranks out. And it was a good way to preview what we were talking about. I figured if you saw them and you had a week to kind of like read them and mull them over, and then we talked about this change, it would give everybody time to sticker shock to disappear, right? I didn't really expect there to be a lot of sticker shock, but hell, I didn't expect there to be a lot of sticker shock on healing, and we know how that went. So, which I do have a healing update. It's coming. People typing?
Not in questions.
Okay, are they all in feedback land?
I think so.
Okay.
I guess give it a minute. I guess you can talk about faction rank.
What do you want me to say about faction rank? This is your child.
Faction rank is here. I'm so sorry that it took all year.
Yes, we did get faction rank here. Enjoy it. Something we've been wanting to do for a bit. You know, we betaed it in World Tour. I think the beta was successful. And here we are, pulling it into the main group.
Let us know how the requirements where you pick between like do a brawl, earn 2 stamps, do 2 monthly quests. Those have kind of been balanced against each other based on the amount of art and the time gating that happens on them. So let us know how those feel. And then this item should be coming in August.
This is our logbook. Thank you to the artist.
Got that done so fast.
You did. I appreciate how fast you got that done. It's super cute. The logbook is in some capacity, I think Dunn's still deciding between 2 options, is in some capacity going to help you with requirements.
So it's going to be in the Stellar Relic Shop to give you another use for those. And either it's going to go in there where it can be, so you can do the brawl or the stamps or the quests or do a logbook for that. So that's one option. And the other option is letting it be treated more like Stone of Ipac, where it can override once per tier that you're moving up, override one of the requirements. So you could use it every tier if you wanted, but...
Yes, so we're finalizing between those 2 options. We'll have our mind made up for open, and then you'll find them in the Stellar Relic Shop from there.
And we have a question from...
Don't let me know. I never want to hear who the questions are from.
Oh.
Go for it.
Speaking of world tours, are going to stay open for an infinite amount of time for now? Do y'all have an end date?
We don't have an end date. We'll tell you.
We're not through all the regions.
Yep, we'll tell you when we do.
We are halfway.
We're halfway. We did get I want to say like 80% complete document for the next adventure. Like, was that Ella? Or who did it? Somebody did
Eva.
it. Eva. Sorry, Eva. Eva has
We
handed
have a
me.
lot of EA names right now.
I know. We have Eva, Ella, Eli,
We had Ellie.
Ellie. Oh,
and
gee.
Ellie. Ellie. Yeah, there's a lot of people right now.
There's a lot. Okay, there's a lot. It's popular. So we will be working on that. We've been given this 80% complete document. We just need to go through, finish it, and then hand it off to the team to build. The only thing being held up is the adventure. The adventure took us a while. It did.
It was a complicated...
It's an ambitious project. It's an ambitious project, and previously we had one person, Pause, who was dedicated to doing these adventures, and we don't have them. So, it's everybody picking up the slack when they do. But I do have an 80% complete adventure for Verma, and then hopefully that means we'll be pushing that out soon. I hope you all enjoy the game of Clue.
Wait, don't give it away. Sorry, I was reading a question.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, next question. Are the new faction rank requirements just for folks who don't have a rank or can continue their rank? Are they resetting in some way, or for rank 5, can we ignore this update unless we change ranks and go down 1 rank? Pretty much, we're just going to close the WT journal and use this moving forward to make up for the fact that, like, we didn't expect World Tour to be 2-3 years in the making right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of you guys have stayed one faction to not lose your faction rank. We're letting you reuse your stamps so you can move around, move them, because they will get consumed under this new system now for this purpose. So, moving forward in rank, you're just going to use this.
So
But you're not losing any.
Not losing anything. Use this. The WT one will probably shut down by the end of next month.
Actually, did I already shut it down? I think I already moved it to account management.
Okay, we think it's already in account management. So that's the plan. Anyone else?
Oh, got one more perfect.
Person typing?
Yeah, that one. I want this journal for real, by the way. Can you find a way to make it happen?
Go to the Ren Fair.
But I want it, like, in the store.
Like our store?
Yeah, like our store. I need a bespoke, handmade leather journal for everybody who
Okay.
wants one.
No. I cannot make you a handmade leather bespoke journal. What I can do is get that piece of art cut out really cute and put it on a notebook.
Or a sticker.
Remember we did the cave painting Tokos notebooks? I could take that and slap it on there. That is what I could do for you.
I think I wanted other things out of you for merch.
Yeah, lots of people want different merch out of me.
Just go get yourself a leather notebook and sit on it for a while. Eventually it'll look like that.
Okay. Is there a plan to up the number of available art prompts since doing the same prompt over and over if you switch often can get repetitive?
We can do a raffle.
We did just do a lot of prompt raffles all through June in this month, so let's probably look later in the fall.
We'll do a prompt raffle at the end of the year. Alrighty. Cool. Moving on.
One last thing.
Oh.
True story. Cave painting Toko blanket came with us to Vegas.
It did, actually. it's here.
Because it's comfy.
Yeah, it's super comfortable.
I intended to buy one of those and I just haven't.
It was actually one of our best-selling items ever.
Nice.
Not really shocking.
Then again,
Daff art.
I also have like literally 85 blankets at my house, and I live in the desert.
I also live in the desert, and did you see the blanket I brought to Vegas? It's pretty heavy.
You know.
Freezing in this desert.
Yes, Lua, even in 120-degree weather.
Yeah, well, when they got here, the hotel room was 67 degrees because my husband's a freaking furnace.
All right. Onward to healing?
Onward to healing.
Onward to healing. Okay, so first step. Thank you for your feedback. It was super helpful. It was great. I went through everything. There's still some things I haven't sorted out, but we're still moving forward. First off, automated healing is here to stay. The response to the people who were using the system was too positive for us to go backwards. I understand there's some people who really like the old system, but the usability of the new system just kind of won overall for people. And I do appreciate a couple people who went out to get their Toko injured just so they could use the new system to have an informed opinion. Like, that was very kind of you, because it's a pain to heal Tokos, even in the new system, if you don't get it right the first day. So that being said, we will be making a few changes. I'm going to try and have them out for open. One, we're going to try and display your total bonus. I didn't do it because it was a lot of finicky JavaScript that I didn't want to deal with, but I will figure out a way to do it, and we'll try and display, like, okay, well, you got like a 40% chance of a heal. You have an 80% chance of a heal. Like, I will try and do that for you. And secondly, this one will be much easier. I will group like bonuses. I will find a way to restructure the page so that like bonuses are grouped together. All the scraped is together, all the concussed is together, all the sore is together. So I will work on those two UI changes for everybody. Totally gonna happen. Maybe they'll happen in my car trip home. And an injury roller, since it'll all be basically in the same vein of things. So that will definitely happen. We have a proposal for Medic. We don't have one for the common traits yet, because the common traits are cheaper. They're not lineage locked. They're still kind of on the figuring it out list, but I do appreciate everyone's suggestions. But here's what we're going to do for Medic. Medic is not changing. Medic is going to work the way that it does with the current amount of charges. We will contemplate more charges upon bonding. Not sold on the idea, but we will actually sit through and contemplate it. Do remember, now you can have multiple medics bonded and have all of their charges. This isn't like a OG crafting genie. This is every medic has their own charges. So we're working on that. Counterfeiter might be sliding to the way of medic, by the way, where you can have multiple counterfeiters. Not totally certain on it yet.
Counterfeiter is very powerful.
Counterfeiter is very powerful, so we would need to check the balance before we do it to move it to single Toko charges, so there's a point to having more than one. Not that I don't know why you would need more than one at a time, but who knows? Okay, so that's happening. However, medics, while it's not changing, we are making an update. We will be introducing, with Open, a new soul pool trait. Name is still kind of being decided right now. Oop.
I don't know, I felt like we all came to an agreement in the end.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to name it that.
I think we're going to totally name it CVS.
We're not going to name it CVS.
I'm sorry, Curative Value Shopper.
Uh-huh. But a trait, a soul pool trait, will be created. And this is going to basically be the
Forager.
the forager of healing items. It'll work just like Forager does, but we basically will have a healing item pool that comes in, and you can get items from that as an addendum roll. So when you depict this Toko, you've shot an addendum roll that brings you back healing items. So it will be the Forager of healing items. All of the medics that currently exist that are Dom will get this for free. And that's kind of like, if your medic exists before August 1st, such and such date, then you will get this soul pool trait on them for free. And when you depict them, you'll get that addendum. So there's at least a reason to go and depict them again. There's at least a reason to go, you've put a lot of work into it, and you can still give Tokos it in activities. And because it's a soul pool trait, you'll be able to put that trait on other Tokos as well, if you so choose. So that's what we're going to do with the medic. That's how we're going to handle that problem. The common items, or common traits, I don't have an answer yet. I'm still working on it. I'll give you an update as soon as I have it. We're almost through the bumps of this new healing system. All right. I think that's everything I had for healing. The next thing on the list is the totem tracker preview. So this is like your 15-minute warning on the raffle. Questions on medic and the change that we will be making. We're almost through this, guys. We're doing good. We're only at like an hour 15.
Man, this list spiraled out of control from the 4 bullet points we had last night.
We don't have enough for a podcast, Jill. We don't have enough for a podcast, Jill. I'm like, we have enough for a podcast. I put 4 bullet points on there. It's not enough. Now we've got like 12.
It was like, what, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning when Jen's like, we don't have anything. And we're like, done. Go to sleep.
Sleep. It was.
Okay, first of all, you guys don't get to say anything because you woke me up pretending we had to cancel the podcast because I was late.
I had nothing to do with that.
That was fully Jill. Look, we all took a nap this morning because it got in at like 6 a.m. and we decided we were going to sleep till 9. Kex and I were up. And it coming up on 10, Dunn was still not up. So,
This is not shocking to anybody.
wasn't shocking to me. I just maybe gave Dunn a little bit of a heart attack to get her out of bed by telling her the podcast starts in 15 minutes and we overslept, so we're going to have to cancel it. And she sat up like, and I was like, oh, it's like 10 a.m. We still got hours.
Fuck you.
And then we all just kind of lazed about for another hour. It's fine.
Yes, she was. She was the one that refused to go to bed.
In my defense, I drove and I had a lot of caffeine, which does affect me.
It does. It does.
I did tell admin chat there may not be a done if she doesn't shut up and go to bed.
Alrighty. Any other one questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Okay.
Whew. Is the soul pull trait for only kids that are Dom by August 1st, or even if they are average sub and it is a temporary override? We'll figure out the nuance there by open news.
Yeah, I'll try and figure out the nuance there. We don't put soul pool traits on sub-average, but I will...
It could mess up your TAC apps page.
It would mess up your TAC apps page, which is my concern.
I suppose we could say any medics uploaded before August 1st,
Have
put them in when they're Dom.
through the end
red.
of X
Through the
on a
end
grace
of-
period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a couple months to get them Dom.
I think there was 68 medics in the system.
Do you want me to go check the specifically non-Dom medics?
Yeah, which I suspect is going to be most of them.
Alright, give me...
I'm the crazy that's like, every one of my Tokos must go to alpha. But most people don't do that.
I'm just slow at it.
Okay, so for dominant medics in the system, we have
Oh, jeez. Okay.
7.
7? Mm.
For the average submissives, we have 52.
52. So it's 52 Tokos that we need.
Man, these are some gorgeous-ass medics.
We need to figure out what we're going to do about that.
Okay, so the bulk of them are not Dom.
Yeah, I should have known that. I should have known that. I'm the crazy. Everyone else is the same.
Through the end of the year to get it Dom? I don't know.
We're going to have to discuss it. You'll have an update.
It'll come with the news.
Yeah, it'll come with the news. We will figure it out one way or another. I suppose we could just put the trait in their bank.
But then we can't guarantee it's going to go on the medic.
Do we care?
Is that our problem at that point? If you decided to go and put it on an entirely different Toko than your medic, you can't come complain to us about the medic.
we'll discuss.
Yeah, okay, we'll discuss. We'll have an answer.
Welcome to how things sound when you're in admin chat and an idea goes out.
Yeah, basically. What else we got there?
Oh, sorry. What was the chatter? Could all this... Oh, wait. Yeah. Farian said literally what you were saying. Said the question as you were saying what they were asking.
Okay. Fair enough.
Alright, I'm going to turn down the air just a little because I'm starting to heat up.
Okay.
Is that a west-facing window?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm only going to turn it down 2 degrees.
Okay. So, with that in mind, I think that's our healing.
Yes.
I hope this compromise works for everybody. You know, I've already apologized. I don't feel like I need to apologize again about the healing snafu, but I can if it really is needed. But we're working on it. We're almost there. I'll figure out these common traits. They're not as powerful as the UT, so probably not going to have as powerful as a compromise put in place, but we're working on it. All right. So, Totem Tracker Preview. Last year, pretty sure it was last year, reintroduced us to the POTA tracker.
No, that was just this year.
That was this year?
Yeah, but
Oh,
you see how
geez.
integral it's come to life.
Yeah, it has. If you're not using it, do you even play this game, bro?
Do you even serve her, bro?
So, POTA tracker came, and it was pretty awesome. She proved her point that we could handle some mass data computation with all of the performance upgrades we had done over the year previous, which was like the inventory and just vast amounts of database work. Neither of us is a DBA, so we're like, fake it till you make it on this, but we kind of made it. So, her latest and greatest is a totem tracker. So that means tracking your progress towards totems. All right, I got spoilers. Let's see here. So here's the first one. I need to make this bigger so I can see it.
This is the display page.
Oop. No, thank you. So this is the display page. This tells you.
Do you need me to open the images over here so you can see them?
Yeah, I do. I need bigger ones. I'm blind.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, no. Dun learned how blind I was one day, and it scared her so much.
You drove.
Yeah, 'cause I drive. I just read street signs by the shape of the words.
That's terrifying. Oops.
All right, let me see. What's this first one? Nope.
This one.
Yes, okay.
Oh.
All right. So this first one, this is the display page where you can see, hey, where you are, how many of each totem you have. It's kind of like your recipe book where you can see what's unlocked and what's not unlocked towards your totems and where your progress is on each of them. So, you know, it'll be really helpful. It's kind of your totems at a glance, basically. So that'll be the first one that we have rolling for you. It's going to be very similar to how your recipe page works. 2,
Is that turtle?
I think this is, yeah, the turtle entry page.
So this is very similar to your HP tracker.
Oh yeah, this is going to look exactly like how you do your HP trackers, how we do kind of like slot tracking, a lot of things like that. These will be standard
Continue.
edit pages that we deal with. So I'm glad she's basically reusing a bunch of that code that we are used to seeing. So I'm like,
Making it better.
yeah, making it better. And she usually cleans up a lot of my crazy UI pages that I throw together at the last second, and then Haru and somebody else, I'm trying to remember who else, tells me, it's like, this is how you fix that CSS thing. I'm like, thank you. So, we're going to have, these is how the edit page works. You'll be able to put your different links in, and I believe these are pretty dynamic. I don't think we're writing these. Yeah, no, these are not. This is very dynamically built so that we don't have to do significant amounts of work every time we add a new totem. I don't think so. And then finally,
This is the cat totem where it's different requirements.
so here's the cat totem. As you can see, it has different requirements. And basically, we're just going to keep, you need this requirement, and then all the different links that you have, and then the link types. So it's very similar to how you track your HP. Just rather than having the different sections of average to dom to da. It's just going to be the different link types. So it should be pretty intuitive for anyone who's been playing around on our website before. And it'll allow you to track your totem progress there. It's going to do a couple things for us. It's going to make your life easier. You're going to be able to just keep it all in one place. Tokotas is getting closer and closer to you not needing spreadsheets to track your stuff, to only having to exist on the companion site. We say companion site, but our site's more functional than DA half the time.
What was it? The link change that?
Oh, the link change. Don't get me started. I haven't figured out how to fix it. The only downfall we have is GoDaddy and email. I'm going to solve it.
It is not pronounced Tokotne. That's just Jill. It's Tokotna.
It's Tokotne. What are you talking about? What? What's going on? What's
I think
happening?
this is the first time Fantasy's ever heard you say it.
That's impossible. Fantasy has been in a podcast before.
Tokotna.
We just
Tokotne.
have to make fun of you every time. It's okay.
Hey. Go check it in Tokopedia. It's there.
It's as a dialect.
And? Still makes it a real word.
It's okay. We still love you.
So
Fantasy's literally heard it the first time today.
she wasn't paying attention, I see. So
This makes me think of a horse.
that's what Furion does every time.
Oh my gosh.
See? Furion says Tokotne.
It's Tokotna.
Nay.
Nah.
Nay.
There is nothing to indicate an A sound. Nay.
It's a fake language. You can't actually say that.
Yes, I
the
can.
the entire phonics of that language could be completely different than our common English. So yes, actually, it could be correct.
No, if I go, I am going to go get us a constructed language. You said I could.
Yeah, it's only $400, so you can have a constructed language. But as I'm paying that bill, I'm gonna say the thing to the person.
No.
Yeah.
Coat nay, as in nay. This is incorrect.
So, sorry. This will do a couple things for you. One, we'll get closer and closer to you having to not have 1,000 spreadsheets. We blasted out crafting ones 5 years ago. We've got slots moved over. We've got our first run at Genos moved over, and we're going to do our next run at Genos hopefully by the end of the year. POTA's over here. HP's over here. Like, there's not a lot of reason not to do it, especially because with all these lovely standardized pages, it's going to be a lot easier on our account management team who's going through your totems and checking links, because they'll be able to be sure you have everything. And you don't have to add 50 links to a comment. Hey.
Because DA totally broke our ability to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks, DA.
Hashtag functional. So, totem tracker. I'm super excited about it. I will be moving my tracking. Okay. Done will be moving my spreadsheet over to my tracker.
Truth. Yeah, I will be. And then maybe I'll make you track your own stuff.
I mean, if it's this easy, maybe I will track my own stuff.
All right. Question time?
Yes, question time.
Will we be able to do a link to tracker for the unlock then? And Ree said yes in chatter that there is a view totem page for everything.
Yes, there's a view page to go with all of these edits, and those view pages are going to be nicer than anything you can do in a comment for Alcestia. What's going on over there?
Roasting DAs. Apparently we're mean to DA today.
Okay, yeah, I'm a little sassy, it's true.
What is the ETA on the release of the totem tracker? I think we need to check with Ree on that one. I feel like most of the functionality is there, but I don't want to speak for Ree and commit to August.
I'm not going to commit her to August. I would need to ask her. End of the year, based on the progress she's made, seems very possible. But we will try and get you a final date.
There we go.
Unless she's got one.
Release ETA depends on how much my puppy likes napping.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's true. She is getting a puppy.
A month or two. A month or two is the likely answer, but maybe
Not August, before end of year.
before end of year. There we go. So not August, before end of year. You'll see it in the news, because you should always read the news. I swear, I'm going to put into help chat, like, if you ask a question that was answered in the news that got dropped 10 minutes ago, that our answer is going to be to link you the news.
You're going to have to code a little bit of a smarter bot than the one we have.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have time for that. I'll just tell people to do it.
Can we give them an enemy of reading badge every time we link them the news?
Ooh, Kier.
Oh, Kier just as sassy?
Sometimes admins don't read the news. You're expecting a lot from everybody.
I do know this. I do know this.
To be fair, the admins have to put up with like 2 weeks of me being like, hey, this thing, hey, this thing.
News. Hey, read this over. Done. I read it over the first 2 times.
But
yeah,
I changed it.
by the time it went in the news, it's like 10 versions down the line, so they don't actually know the answer. So,
Sometimes we don't even know what's in the news until the news is posted, and then we go read it and we're like,
oh, when did that change happen?
3.5 minutes ago.
Go. I thought it up before I posted the news, so it happened. Any more questions?
Can is being shamed.
Oh, no, don't shame Can. Can can't defend. Can. Blah.
Can't.
No, damn it. Okay, whew. I see nothing else typing in questions.
All
Give me
right.
to close that raffle.
Bring back the
Close
do
my
not
raffle.
touch button.
Y'all are funny.
Raffle closed. Okay, you're being left unattended while I go count this.
Okay. Hey guys, I got left unattended. Let me see. What can I do? What can I do during my unattended time? Oh, I know what I can do during my unattended time. So,
6, 7, God
Okay.
damn it, 8.
so I got me a preview of some art for a thing that we all want. We are making a new level of starter slot. It's called an Aurorium. It's a fake fantasy metal, just like mithril, adamantium, vibranium, whatever. I was trying to remember various ones. From everyone's got their like fake super metal. This is ours. It's called Aurorium, and we will be making a step above platinum. Just our tiers weren't working with our rarity scale, so this will be the one that sits above it. It's kind of waiting on the art to come through. Like, as you can see, I've got this wonderful, I think this is an almost finished whip, if it's not finished. It needs paid for, and I need the crafting recipe in place for it. Yes, I did say crafting recipe. The crafting recipe in place for it. I got to get it into things, but it's coming. It's probably not August, but, got good feelings about September on it. And this is where things like 75% dyers will be sitting. So, woo! Did I pick a prize for this raffle, Kix?
No, we didn't
I was
think of
just
one.
Oh my
about to
gosh.
ask you, what am I rolling and how many?
Okay. Okay, so they had to put some thought into building a totem. I could do Geno's. She would kill me if I did something crazy like Aurorium slots that don't exist yet.
They don't
That's
exist.
This
bad
yet.
to say. I mean, we could give slots that we already do have.
I can. You know what? Yes. Raffle some 75% slots so you can make me my starter slot writing screen.
But I don't want to make a starter slot writing screen
She
today.
wants to ride roller coasters, done.
We're supposed to be writing a werewolf book, Jill.
I did. I wrote half of the fight chapter. I'll write the other half.
Sus.
How about platinum slots? Can I just give out platinum slots?
Okay, yes, there's.
3. Go.
Welcome to another scene of Behind the Admins.
And
This
you're
is about how it always sounds.
you're not going to believe this. Dunn's the one who tries to give away too much stuff. I know it doesn't sound like that, but I swear to you on iPack that between us, Dunn is actually not allowed to set the prize levels for things. Every single time she does, I have to come in and just chop things off of it in every direction and be like, no, you can't have that. There's no wish festival done. Things of this nature.
Okay, first of all, I was so close to getting my Wish Festival this year.
But it didn't happen. It will never happen. I am not the one who tries to give everything away. I spoil you all with spoilers, not with
No. I totally
Prizes.
did a special Geno for the adventure. The
She
more
was
pup.
on our side, done. We're all in agreement that Jill's
Oh, shit,
version
they're
of
supposed to be
pronouncing
counting
things
raffles.
is wrong, and we should all ignore it.
Did I roll that right? Okay.
y'all are crazy. Like, I pronounce things as I pronounce things. And I'm pretty sure that my profile at some point in time, it might not anymore, but it did at one point in time say the voice of IPAC, okay? So this should be IPAC in your head. It sounds like this. Oh, speaking of, towards the end of the year, I don't think it's happening right. Is it happening right now?
What?
No. Right now we're doing a canon location cleanup. Um, right now we're doing a canon location cleanup, but I'm thinking either in November or December, maybe sooner. We're going to do a small cleanup of our 7 major deities. So some of them have like no lore, some of them have tons of lore, some of them have hidden lore. Like I have a write up and I'm like, is this anywhere? I don't think I've ever seen this written anywhere. Is this just like an admin thing? So we've got like that, and I think we're going to have like a little contest to kind of like clean up and establish lore, because tons of things happen in chat where like,
I thought we were just going to handle that, and then we were doing a different thing.
oh, are we handling that one? Do you remember what the different thing was?
Minor spirits for Tartar.
Okay, yes. So I have confused myself. Listen to these words and not the previous words. Admins, probably done, because she's a control freak, is going to rewrite the 7 deities. And when I say rewrite, I don't actually mean like reconcept or anything. Like when we go into chat, Borga has a personality. He's Broga. Milanik's kind of a stick in the mud. Sivo's a little crazy. Aga and Sick and IPAC and everyone's kind of got a personality, and there's like unofficial canon about things they say and they do. We're going to clean up the deities and kind of get them standardized so they match more of our new deity feelings, and everything will look good there. And we're going to stay to the core of what the character is and make any updates that we need to make to bring them appropriate and such.
I need my power cord.
Oh, Dunn's computer just died. Oh man, it's like prime time for another spoiler. She literally can't even see me. So well, we're gonna do those. And while we're doing that, this is where I got myself confused. We're going to have a deity contest for minor spirits, minor deities, much like we've had for Lurik and Narnvok and all of them, but for Tanya and Tartok, because IPAC and the 6 other major deities are not actually the deities of Tanya Tartok. And Tanya Tartok kind of came into existence as named regions, like formalized when we got World Tour. So we're going to do that, the deity contest. We'll pick something much like how we did, like jungle was the theme when you go into Makarok. We'll pick those things for Tanya Tartok, and then we'll get minor deities that are specific to their regions, the same way we have them for everybody else. I'm super excited because you guys have done some like crazy awesome deities before. It's always hard to pick, but the goal will be to have 6 for each region up there, so 12 new minor deities. And we will pick what the actual themes are for those regions, because they can't both just be mountains, because we already have a mountain region and it's not them. All right. Cool.
Okay, I've got your winners.
Okay, you got my winners. Who are my winners?
Space Poodle, Fantasy to Art, and Tide Sage.
Okay. Congratulations to Space Poodle, Tide Sage, and Fantasy to Art. You have a platinum starter slot in your inventory.
Well, you will shortly once my computer has power.
Once Dunn's computer has power again, you will have a starter slot in your inventory.
This is faster. Oh yes, go Kex, go.
Oh, or Kex will handle it. We all know I'm not going to handle it. All right, so, ooh, that being said, any questions about the totem trackers and
Going back, and I'll
the
questions.
little spoiler thing that I just threw out there about the deity contests? I'll answer to the best of my ability.
Hold on, I need my phone. Can't believe my laptop died in the middle of this.
It kind of amused me.
After the discussion this morning, I'm not surprised Jeremy's not transfer you.
Okay. Could the background contest deadline be extended? That would be the canon art location.
I need to ask the event coordinator, but She usually says yes.
Because I'm pretty sure it ends tomorrow.
I'll ask her, and if it's extended, you'll see an announcement.
Yep.
What else?
Speaking of canon locations, with the contest, I noticed a lot more locations have markers, key locations, sub-locations. I wonder if they can somehow be added to the Tokopedia search. Even if the Tokopedia search links to the subsection instead of a separate page. You can search by description.
Yeah, if you search by description, that's what it'll do.
And some of those subsections will get broken off, like we're talking about with the soul pools. The Oasis is a sub-location in... What was it called again? The Hoodoo...
I'd need to go check. But obviously the two other soul pools, they're going to be their own like sub-locations, like our
They're
current
going to
one.
get pulled to their own page.
Did we drop those backgrounds? I'm going to take that as a no. I don't know what day they're scheduled to go out, but Tide Stage.
You are like,
I'm a machine.
you're just taking advantage of the fact that I don't have a laptop.
I really am. I totally am. And you would not knock this microphone out of the way, so.
I might try.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Any other questions?
I don't. Somebody's typing.
Type.
Type.
I can try and find like another antidote. Antidote?
Anecdote.
Antidote. Words.
Can the writing contest deadline also possibly be extended if the background one is? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll extend both. And then,
If they're extended, both will be extended.
yes, start thinking on those deities for Tanya Tartok.
You know what we forgot to say for Summer Hunt?
What's that?
Nagi Charm Contest is coming back again.
Oh, yeah, Nagi Charm Contest. That's right. We always have something going on these days. It's like we're trying to be, content providers to some degree.
We're here to entertain. All right.
Alrighty.
I think I've caught up.
Okay, cool. I just have a few more little things to talk about, and then we'll call this good. This one will actually be really quick. So, both of them will be extended to the 5th. The canon writing and art contests will be extended to the 5th of August. Yeah, that's next month, August.
Time is an illusion.
Time is not an illusion. It's just in a forward progression, so you can never hold on to it.
No. Time is a Western concept. It's a construct of human nature.
Right.
Okay, what's our last stuff? Okay. More after that.
Yeah, just a few things. All right, so some of you all may have noticed that there was a CE, PvP, and quest tracking added to Tokotas. Turns out it was Aurora only, which it was supposed to be. So it was Aurora only. The people who are using it absolutely love it, and we made the decision that it could be for everyone instead. And that will be with probably Open or the first whenever Re gets to it. But basically, CEs, PvPs, and quest trackers was in the news, but it was for Aurora only. Now it's going to be open to everybody. Also, PvP tracking for trophies is being added, 30 links max for each difficulty. And basically, it's got all the benefits of what all of our other things have. Like in HP trackers, we tell you if you got a dupe. And all these things, these will have these same benefits to them. And we're just going to open it up for everybody. So we're taking that out of Aurora. Aurora has a ton of wonderful and nice stuff. And we're going to move this for everyone because we just feel like it's a benefit everyone could use.
It wasn't a lot of strain on the system.
It was not. It was significantly less strain. So we went ahead and we're opening it up. Speaking of Aurora's been around for about 2-3 years now. Yeah, 2 to 3 years now. I like my Aurora. I will probably always have it. And yes, that's right. I also pay for Aurora, despite the fact that... Oh my, that is some crazy going on in the hallway. Despite the fact that I, Cray, and Daff run the game, we actually still pay for all of our Aurora benefits. We don't get them for free. No one does. But that being said, it would be really nice. I don't think I need a full feedback channel for it. This is more just like a vibe check on it. If you want to go to podcast feedback and let me know, those of you who have Aurora, do you feel like your $20 a year is worth it? Because we're never really going to increase that price. I don't think that's ever on our to-do list. Something truly insane would have to happen for us to need a price increase.
We're not
rely on
Netflix.
it.
We ain't Netflix. We make our money in digital goods. We make our money in
Annual sale.
the annual sale, and we make enough to do what we're doing right now. And then to buy builds this year. I've already paid someone to do a build for us, which I'll spoil later. And I've already paying for 2 different builds to get done, and then I'm going to find a main artist and get one of my next mains. Probably one of the uncommon mains, I think, rolling. Really considering that bison main. Like, working on all of those different things. Like, we spend our money there. We make enough money. We don't need to up the price of Aurora. Aurora just gave us, like, a very stable amount of money
for server costs.
for server costs. Aurora covers our server costs really well. Our digital goods covers our apparatus for digital goods because Shopify costs money and SendOwl, who sends you the codes, costs money and all of that. And the digital goods cover that cost. So basically, like a little cycle of you can keep having digital goods and it'll keep paying for itself. Aurora pays for the server really well. And then the USD sale allows us to buy more art and things. Yeah, we won't talk about anyone else's drama, but we thankfully don't have similar things. All right. But I would like a vibe check down in podcast feedback. Do you feel like, you're getting something for your money? And if anyone feels like it is pay to win, say it nicely, please. Don't be jerk about it, but let me know, because it's not supposed to feel pay to win if you have Aurora. So this is more like a vibe check. I'm not looking to make any major changes, just kind of getting the feeling of how everyone feels on it. I'm happy with it, but I also set what it is, so it's super easy for me to be happy with it. Ooh, okay. Questions on that? Now is your moment.
Vibe checks ongoing and feedback, but I figure we'll review that in a bit.
I've got one last thing, and then
got
some.
2. Oh my gosh. Wow, how much happened in this fucking thing?
A lot. I told you, it's like 12 like major points.
Oh man, how this happen?
We don't have enough. We can't even fill an hour of this podcast.
Shut up.
I haven't had any time to work on it. We only have, 7 hours?
Right? And when we walked downstairs to get breakfast from the Uber Eats woman, who was super cool, I told Kex, I was like, she's having a panic attack and we're working on it like 2 hours before the podcast, when in reality, she usually starts this 30 minutes before the podcast. So, like, I don't know. She's super ahead of the game today. I don't know what's up.
Normally I'm sitting at my PC with my mouse and my keyboard and all my whole setup.
Your emotional support mouse. Yeah.
It is not an emotional support mouse. It is ergonomic and delightfully quick and snappy.
Trackpad for the win. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Cool. So, next, I bring you some crazy. TCA interaction levels revamp. You're all like, what are you talking about? I haven't heard of that before. Like, that, what?
I'm sure we said something with Outpost.
Maybe.
We said we were going to do it.
And we're doing it. So, here's kind of the pitch that we have right now. There is 3 parts of TCA. Taming, or wild/taming, outpost, and rehelm?
Yes.
Yeah, and rehelm. And did you know all 3 of them have an entirely different domesticated versus undomesticated
restrictions and HP
requirements? 3 separate ones.
Old Outpost had to be, you just had to go do bonding, I guess.
And it was done. So, yeah, it's all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and just wear that badge again and say, we're going to standardize this for all of our sanities. And when we standardize it, we do mean across all 3 of them. So all of them would have the same level of basically interaction. They would have the same requirements to move through it, and they would have the same restrictions to move through it. Yeah, all right, full admittance. Kind of, we forgot about some restrictions. Like, they were kind of wrapped into things, kind of not wrapped into things. Players didn't remember them, admins didn't remember them, because they're all over the place and don't come into play very often. But, like, I semi-recently learned that you're not supposed to transfer a Toko until you're totally full of, like, doing the interaction. And then realized that I bought a Toko that didn't have it. And I was like, what? It happens. Like, I did not remember it. Legitly had no idea. The person who sold it to me legitly had no idea. Nobody stopped the transfer. The code wasn't in there. And then as we popped this open to look at it, I read it and went, What? Oh, okay.
Because wilds get tamed and then sold off.
Yeah. But it's not supposed to happen until they're through their full interaction, which this Toko was not. I didn't have malice, I'm sure of that. I doubt the other person did, so it's just kind of one of those, oh, I see where there's some confusion here. And so we've started working on standardizing it. We are not going to be removing the breeding activities and transfer restrictions, but we are going to simplify them. Right now, taming has 7 levels, TCA has 2, and
TCA has 4?
TCA has, no, it's 4. You're right, it's 4. And Outpost has 2. We're going to standardize. What we think we're going to do is we're going to put everything as 3 levels. So everyone's going to move to 3 levels. There will be a HP requirement. I understand that taming wilds are going to have an easier time than this because most of them have
no,
little.
because I specify on the requirements non-taming.
Oh, that's right.
Non-entry HP.
So you will need non-taming outpost rehome HP. We're looking at 25, 50, 75, and that is cumulative, so it's like 25 extra at each level, not...
And of course, HP tokens count.
HP tokens count on this. So that'll still be there. But we will be adding prompts into it as well. We're going to get a list of them, put it together, and basically there will be prompts that you do at each level of your things. I think we're calling them right now is... so there's... Settling in, gaining trust, domesticated. I have this open.
Or building bonds.
Hold on. Where's the sheet? Where's the sheet? Why am I trying to do this without the dang sheet?
It's in the brainstorm.
Oh, thank gosh, it's in the brainstorm. I'll get to that super quick. I was about to do scrolling through me and Dunn's DMs. That could take for literal ever, though.
To the top.
To the top. All right, so we would be looking at... Okay, here we go. I'll read down the list. So what we would do is restrictions. When you get a wild... When you get a TCA, I'm just going to call them TCA Tokos for my sake and yours. So when you get a TCA Toko, it would be no TAC apps, no activities, including CE activities, no ownership transfers, and no breeding regardless of AOA status. So when you get a wild or whatever, that is the restrictions you're dealing with.
That is the current restrictions.
Yes, just kind of like simplified down. Because some of these are written out as like 3 different things that all mean the same thing.
Where you unlock hunting here, you unlock fishing at this level, and you unlock exploration down here.
Which we decided, nope, just put it all in one place. It's easier for activity rollers. It's easier for you. And then in the new system, basically everyone starts off at 0. They're wild, undomesticated, whatever it is. Tier 1 would require 25 non-taming HP and 2 prompts. That's all you have to do. These prompts, given it's 2, we'll be able to do things to maybe like when we rebalance TCA ranks, we might be able to do things like move them down to 1, things of that nature. Like that's still very much in the works. This is all, by the way, in the works, not set in stone. This is me giving you my information. We'll make a feedback channel so you can give me your feelings on.
Once we have a proper... no, we can do feedback on this.
On this, yeah, this is proper enough. And when you get Tier 1, gaining trust, you'll unlock TAC apps and you'll unlock activities. So at Tier 1, off you run to do all of your activities and such. Everything is good. We're also talking about putting a frame in place for this. Cray and I are going to have a conversation about doing some logos for taming, outpost, and TCA. So they all have like a distinct little TCA logo. And then doing a frame that kind of has like a really cool wooden post with the logos on it, done in various metals or such. Like we're working on it, but that's like the basic idea. So if you do Tier 1, you unlock TAC apps, you unlock activities, and you get this frame that you can put on there. That's like the bronze decorative frame for your specific brand of TCA Toko. Tier 2 is called Forming Bonds. You would get the silver version of this frame, so you could use the bronze or the silver. And your Toko would be Tier 1 bonded. So that means you would automatically become bonded. You would get a bonding trait, all of that. You would become Tier 1 bonded without having to do the bonding as well. This would be separate. And you would unlock breeding. This would just require 50, remember it's cumulative, so it's 25 more, non-taming HP, and 2 prompt images. It's not too complicated. And then finally Tier 3, which is domesticated, you would get the gold decorative frame, You would get a domesticated cert, which would be valid for your POTA first place win. It'll get a super cool medal made for it as well, for like, you have successfully domesticated this fully sort of thing, and that would count as your award for first place, and you would unlock ownership transfers. What we would be asking in return is that 75 cumulative non-taming HP and 2 more prompt images. So 6 all together. If you never want to trade this Toko, you don't have to do level 3. Like, it's still an optional system to do, but we are going to keep the restrictions in place because it is kind of the feeling of the system to have those there. And it also encourages you not to go after wilds you don't want, just wilds you want to sell. Like, there's not supposed to be a market there.
I think we're still talking about putting something bonding bundle style openable into each of these as well.
There is a conversation about doing some sort of like bonding bundle level of openable for each level that you go through. This is our pitch right now. It's still pretty new. Admins are still reading over it. We're kind of telling you this is what we're thinking we want to do. We're going to put up a feedback channel so you can give us like your initial feedback on it. As always, be respectful. I would like your opinions. This is not set in stone. This is probably not going out until Q4 at the earliest. And I don't have answers for, well, what if I'm like halfway through domestication right now, but I'm not done? I don't know yet.
Currently, domestication is extremely trivial. Throw some HP tokens at it.
Yeah. Throw 50 HP tokens at it and be done.
25.
25 HP tokens at it and be done.
Which is just not fun.
Mm-hmm. So this will make it a little more interactive. We think overall it's going to be a benefit for the game. We think it'll make it more fun, and of course, standardizing some things for us. So questions. I do need a standardized emote. Sorry.
You do. Can the prompts contribute to the HP, or do they not count towards the 75 HP?
Think of it like ROD rules. It will totally count towards your next level. So if you get your RODs, the ROD HP totally counts towards your HP for POTA. So the first ones aren't going to count for the first level, but they'll count against the next level.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking right now.
I think that's what we got right now. Unless anybody's typing.
Is anyone?
Anybody?
All right. We're doing good, guys. We're coming in just at 2 hours, and I have some fun for you. Some super fun for you. All right. So, you've seen our Aurorium. I did say that I had pulled out the wallet and started purchasing art from people. I have 2 builds in the process right now. I have Tokotas and I have Meraltas. Daff is doing our Tokotas, and I got a Barbary Tokota for you to get your eyes on. Like full sketches for everything.
Actually, I think that's final lines.
I think it's final lines, but
Just
obviously
no base fill.
no base fill on it. So, I mean, look at them. They're so fluffy. They're so fluffy. Angry little fluffy badger Wolverine Tokos. As a reminder, Tokotas are going to sit on the side of the breeding.
They're going to be breedable with Dakinos.
They're breedable with Dakinos. So they'll be filling in that last little spot on Dakinos. They're also going to be breedable with standards. So they'll be sitting in there between those two. They're not, obviously not a combination of them. They're their own species, but they're going to be in the breedability compatibility with those two as well. Second, I have Tina working on Meraltas. And it's like, I thought Sanaka was going to be my favorite. I think it's going to have one heck of a run for its money with some of these Meralta mains. Whew, they're so good. Makata's fine. It's lovely. Meralta's my vibe.
Shocking.
I know. And this was one of the first, so Tina did my concept sketches my nat for all of the new builds.
Your Sphinx and Nat.
Sphinx, thank you. My Sphinx and my Nat for all the builds, because we need them to build on and make mains. That's like the process we use. So she did those for me like a year ago. And then I was like, hey, you want to do the mains for Meralta? And she was like, I can make time for that. So this was one of the first I saw out of her. This glorious razor mane. Yeah, and this is correctly sized on there. Is that no? That one's not
Yeah,
correctly.
no, that is.
That's correctly sized.
Yes, they're
So
as tall as Dyers.
they're as tall as Dyers, because Maralta are breedable with Standards and Dyers. They're coming in over there as well to fill in more space on that side of the breeding compatibility chart. I know, look at it. It's just like, ooh, look at that mane. I've also seen I've seen the long mane, which I mean, if any of you are surprised long mane's my favorite, I'm gonna be like, have you been under a rock? I've seen the long mane and I'm just like, I need 30 of these. I need 30 gala versions of these. Not that I know what the gala ones look like yet. So I have tons of finish lines, whip lines, sketch lines, just concepts in general for sign off on both of these. So these two are kind of like, they're well in progress. The other ones, I only have the Gnat and the Sphinx, but these two are well in progress. As soon as we reach a certain point of finished, because I have the money to pay for these, so paying for them is not an issue. As soon as they're finished, I will start scheduling releases. And next on my list, I think I'm looking at one of the uncommon mains. I know we talked about Strand going soon, but maybe Bison. I don't know. We're going to see.
We'll see where we need.
We'll see where we end up. Exactly. All right. And just a few minutes before this podcast started, Eli was able to do a line test for us with the Razor Maralta, so you can kind of get a glance of it in actual perfect sizing with, colored in designs on it. So I'm pretty sure that that's going to be
Our first starter.
our first Maralta starter. He had a name, didn't
Novus.
he? Novus? Okay. I think his name is Novus. Obviously, everything's TBA until it gets up on the site. Sometimes, Fishnet, I alter names. But yeah. Don't they look so cool? I'm so excited about them.
Everyone's nitpicking the light line art. I'm gonna just point out that Eli did this in under 10 minutes.
It was like 8 minutes.
It was like 8 minutes for me. Like, do you think, could anybody do like a test with these lines for me before the podcast starts? And then Eli showed up and he was like, I think I can do it. And I was like, here you go. And then dropped it. And I was like, yeah, good enough. Let's go.
So what, to the other room, and by the time you got back, it was done?
Yes, exactly. I don't think DC okayed the design yet, so obviously it's supposed to go through the design check process. All starters do. But yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, we just wanted to test design, and they were like, can it be a starter? Okay.
I mean, do you think I wasn't gonna ask for that?
That's how Shenzi ended up a starter. Shenzi was Shenzi and Ed were test designs on the Takara lines.
And then for
That
starters,
happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was Miguel. Miguel might have been a test design too.
I think sourdough was too at one point.
We have to make sure the lines are like usable. They make sense. All the layers are there. So why wouldn't we use the design?
I think Cream was our first Akinos test design.
I think Cream was. Yeah, that makes sense.
Miguel and Tulio came quickly after.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is last call for questions. I've shown you everything that I've got to show you. I'm excited about the things that are coming out. We've dealt with some housekeeping. We've laid out some art requirement changes. We're just, this is our end of year sweep of things that we're going to try and get done before the end of the year.
End of year or mid-year, Jill?
Yeah, this is the sweep for things to get done by the end of the year.
Okay. We'll have all these feedback channels Jill has promised once I remember what one she's promised.
You should have been writing them.
I want one for the TCA interaction levels. Hold on. I can do this.
You're
I
just
can
going to
do
put it on
this.
the agenda, aren't you?
We don't need one for any of this. I don't think I asked for one for Summer Hunt.
I think that was just to go in podcast feedback.
Universe art requirements already has one, doesn't it?
Yep.
So just, sorry everybody, hitting the mic. So we already have that one. Faction rank, I don't think we needed a full.
I thought I'd made one.
Oh, we might have one. So
I'm not sure.
The healing one's still there, so if people have more feedback, they can run over to that one. The totem tracker doesn't need one. The PvP thing doesn't need one. The interaction level. So I think you actually only have to make the interaction level one. Everything else already existed.
enough.
And there was a few other things I asked for feedback, but I specifically sent them to podcast.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay? Cool. All right.
Whew.
Anyone typing those last minute questions?
Oh, I'm in chatter, not questions. 1 second. I don't see anybody typing, so last call
All right. Cool.
before I go make you write a werewolf book.
We're so close, everybody. I think I've said this a few times, but I think it's for reals this time. I think we're about less than 20,000 words from the end, and our editor's going to look it over us and be like, yeah, that's going to be like 6,000 words when we're done with it. Yeah.
Kex makes us sound smart.
Yeah, she makes us sound smart.
I don't know that I delete that many words. I just lower your page count by not letting you have 5 pages of 1-line paragraphs.
We're getting better about it.
It's true. You are much better in the
I
novella.
feel like you pulled like 20k words out of our first 2 books. I feel like you cleaned it up enough.
She told us about chapter merges, so I was like, okay.
Oh, that's right.
Because when she finished the draft, she was like, I understand why these things are important, but you need to make them less pages. And so we did. So like 3 chapters became 1.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I don't see anybody typing.
All right then. I think that's everything then. Whew, 2 hours. Not bad. Whew. Imagine trying to do this with Tav. He would be sitting in my lap at this point, screaming into this microphone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Hey, look, it was a good thing we went to Vegas. And
Hey.
apparently the Wi-Fi held up.
I am
True.
pleasantly surprised by how well this Wi-Fi held up.
I didn't have high hopes.
No.
We've been just commenting how sketchy it is the whole time.
It's a little sketchy. It's a tiny bit sketchy. It's fine.
It could be worse.
It's the room
There was-
itself is fine.
And
It's
clean.
not like the door faces the outside and won't close like the one in Tucson.
Yeah.
And she specifically put us on the top floor so we wouldn't have people running
Yeah.
over our heads.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right then.
Good
Okay,
team.
everyone. Lots of love. I'm sure we'll have another podcast before the end of the year. There's going to be something I need to tell you that I'm up to.
What, you think you're not going to have one by Tokoween? You're going to have one by Tokoween.
I'll probably have one by Tokoween. Oh no, we're not at the Flamingo actually, because we booked this at the absolute last minute, so we went cheap.
At
We are on a podcast.
2
You do
o'clock.
not say where we are.
We are not at the Flamingo.
Okay, cool. Just
Yeah.
adhere to our own personal
Yes.
identification rules.
I gotcha. I saw his Lewis question.
Oh my god, I am the rule enforcer. When did this happen?
I don't know.
I was
Bye, all.
We booked it at like 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon is all.